There's quite a bit of content shared today, and part of that content are details about our backgrounds, our careers, our successes, our achievements. Often you'll see in someone's bio that they've won certain awards. In fact, some people will start their bio by saying, I'm an award winning this or the other. I brought out a few of my awards. I've won a number of awards over the years. And I was looking at them and thinking about, what does this really mean? You know, we see someone win an award and we look at them and we think, wow, isn't that wonderful? Good for them. But how do we use our successes, our recognition, not only to give ourselves a pat on the back, but in a way to tell a story about our background, our work, our commitment, and maybe even the opportunity that exists out there. I think there are three things to consider when you reflect on your own achievements and recognition. And if you've received some awards, whether it's for sales performance, for design capability, for being an up-and-comer, being someone who is young and has a great future ahead of them, or maybe even it's a Lifetime Achievement Award, the thought is, what does this all mean, and how do we use this in a way that benefits more than us, than the person who's receiving the award? There are three things I want you to consider when it comes to awards. And the first thing is, who benefited from the awards? Now, we know that you benefited. You got the recognition, you got the crystal piece, the plaque on the wall. But sometimes receiving an award means that you've done something that has resulted in other people benefiting significantly. And I want you to reflect on that, because that says something about you, it says something about your ability, and it says something about the bar being raised, the step that you've taken, the new ground that perhaps has been broken. You know, one of my favorite awards, for example, is this award I got from Black Enterprise magazine in 2002, I think it is, for being Business Innovator of the Year. And what I love about receiving that award and seeing it in my office is that it reminds me of the risk that I took, the commitment I made, particularly in a project that was very important to me at the time. It was an online news service that was aimed at showcasing some of the work, the accomplishments, the thinking, the lifestyle of athletes who were not getting a lot of attention and recognition. That was when I had my sports media company. So when I reflect on that and I look at that, I think, wow, that was an innovative step. We pulled it off, we got it done, we got it launched, and we had some success with it. So who benefited there was the community at large. The community got to see a different side of these athletes. The athletes benefited because they typically did not get recognition. And it was more than me and my company. It was something that I think we contributed to the industry, and we got some recognition for that, and I was appreciative of that. So the question is, who benefited from your award? Now, the second thing is, what was the result of that benefit? Did that benefit have a change in the business community? Did it have a change on someone's life? You know, think about your customers. Think about the people that you serve. For example, if you won an award because you sold a lot of real estate, well, that means that you did something really positive for your community, maybe for its economy, maybe for families in your community, maybe for if you sold advertising, for example, if you did a lot of advertising as someone who sold advertising in your community newspaper, that says something about the impact you've had on your community. These are all important things, and things to recognize and think through. When you look at it in that context, you can talk about your activities and your achievement and your commitment in ways that go beyond you just getting recognition. We all love getting recognition. It's wonderful to get that and to feel that. But it's also wonderful when you know that as you worked hard and had an impact, it had an impact on others. So think about how your award might have had an impact on others. Now, the last thing is, what was the thinking behind what you did? Because that can really be helpful to someone. If you're a salesperson, for example, the thinking behind it had to be significant, because salespeople have to get up every day and be motivated and deal with a lot of rejection. So what could be learned from the thinking behind your success? That you have to stay committed when you get a lot of no's, that you have to deal with lots of obstacles, that you have to overcome your internal resistance sometimes to even doing the job. What's the thinking there that's of value? The thinking behind this innovation award, for example, for me, was the idea that we could make news more than just a negative commentary on the world, on the sports business, and of these individual athletes. And that was important to the community because young people were looking up to these athletes. So the thinking behind that was, how do we use this wonderful opportunity in this wonderful industry to have a more positive impact? Because at the time there was a lot of negative news that was surfacing. One of my other favorite awards is this award that I have here from for executive producing an event that recognized artists in New York during the U.S. Open, the tennis U.S. Open. And the idea was that athletes are artists, and there are also artists in other fields. And so it was the merging of the two and making the point that we can celebrate artistry in its many forms. Gave many of the folks within the USTA, United States Tennis Association, a way of saluting other people who were doing great things around the time of the U.S. Open. And I got recognition for producing that event and coming up with the idea. So it's the point here is that is another example of how the community was recognized and benefited from that step. Yes, I've got some recognition here, but the real recognition was the people who benefited and the thinking behind that. Now, what do you do with all this? Well, you can use this in your content. It can be a source of teaching and learning for your industry. It can be a way of differentiating yourself when you're out there pitching your services, your products, your services. It could also be a way of mentoring others, helping bring others along. But it certainly is more significant than just saying you won an award. Think about the leverage in that award, not only for you, but for the many people that were impacted because of your commitment. Awards go far beyond something that you have on your mantle, that you have on your wall, that you have just to demonstrate that you are a top performer. It's really what's behind it that really matters. If you like this tip, give me a thumbs up. Let me know that you like it. Share it with someone in your network. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.